Hello everyone, I am Komal Mehta teaching as an assistant professor in CSC department at St. Andrew Institute of Technology and Management, Gurgaon. Today in the series of structured analysis and designing course, we will cover about another tool of a structured analysis. With the help of these tools, we analyze the basic structure of new system and how the data will move from one phase to another phase is done with the help of these tools. For the better understanding, the graphical representation of the tools will be done. So I already covered some of these tools that are DFT, data dictionary. Now I'll cover another tool that is flowchart. So what do you mean by a flowchart? It's basically a simple representation of graphical format of some steps. It shows steps in a sequence order, or we can say it is widely used to represent and presenting the flow of algorithm, the workflow or the processes. That means the data move from one phase to another phase or module to another module is done with the help of these diagrams, and the direction from moving upward to downward or downward to upward will be representing with the help of these arrows. So typically we can say to showing these following steps, we need some boxes or some representation so that they can connect or they can show what they actually want to perform that particular process. So there are some basic symbols for this. What are these one? Let's discuss over here. Wait a second. Let's start with the symbols of a flowchart that are firstly and this is the tabular format of a symbols with the purpose basically they were used. So the oval shape here refers to the starting or a ending point, that means from initial to end, that is source to destination. So it is used at the beginning and the end of the algorithm to show the starting or the ending of a program. Next is rectangular format, that is representing the process. Whenever we want to perform any operation, mathematical criteria we have to prefer, then we have to do it with the help of process. And that process is represented with the help of this rectangular format. Here next is inverted rectangular format, that representing the input and the output. That shows the input we forward in the process, and the result after processing will be forwarded to the process is done with the help of inverted rectangular format. Next is a square of inverted square that deals with the decision. It means whenever we have to apply any logic, whether the condition will valid or not, we have to check. Then this is called as a decision. So at that duration, we will use this one. It stands for decision statements in a program where answers is usually yes or no. That means logically it will correct or incorrect. There are only two options, yes or no. uh, if yes, then what condition will be applicable, and if no, what condition will be applicable is decided with the help of this process. Next thing is arrow. Here arrow representing the relationship between different shapes, because there are so many types of shapes we were used. For example, one input, one decision, one process. So all these are correlated with the help of these arrows. So the information flow from one portion to another portion, and that flow will be representing with the help of this particular arrow. Next thing is a circle, on page connector, we can say. It connects two or more parts of a flow chart which are on a same page. That means to representing these different parts of a singular page, we have to connect the particular one with the help of the circle shape. Next thing is off page connector. It connects two parts of a flow chart which are spreaded on different web pages. On different web pages deals with completely, that means let us suppose one process is at first page and second process is of second page. So to connect these particular pages, we will use the off page connector. So these are the basic symbols we have to prefer for representing any flowchart representation. But there are some advanced symbols as well. So what are these one? Let's discuss about them also. Document symbol. Document is a thing that contain all the information about a single concept. So that document is represented with the help of this particular format. uh, in this, three sided are in a rectangular form, and next and last one is in a we can say curl shape. So this is called a single document. If we have multiple documents at the same time, then we have nested documents containing in this. That means we can say single and a multiple document icon shows that there are additional point of reference involved in our flowchart. That means if we want to use or indicate items like create or invoice or reviewing testing paperwork, we will do it with the help of this one, because that's showing the one by one laying overlapping. So this is representing with the help of multiple documents. Next thing is data symbols. There are so many criteria to storing a data. So if the data is stored in any of the format randomly, then the symbol is first one. If the data is stored in a local storage devices, that means internal storage contain the information, then the rectangular square format with the diagonals in border with them is represented, it showing the RAM storage. So the process is already in our system, we just using that one. So that means it's locally storing. If the data is used in a sequence, that means step data will be required. That we can say if the first process will be done, the output of that particular first process will be act as an input of the second one. So we have to deal with the sequential data, because that outcome act as an input for the other one. It's not possible to solve the second process earlier than the first one, because that is the intermediate part of a solution. So with the help of sequential data, we can act in a particular sequence. For this, we have a symbol of a circle and outlining with a single line. For a database, that means the complete storage, we can say, or we can say the secondary memory, that is completely represented in a cylindrical format, that showing the access in any order. There is no particular order mentioning over there, so you can fetch any data at any duration of a time. They are not correlated, and if they are correlated, then user itself have to understand that one. There is no processor to tell them that that act as input or a output of particular process or a node. So the completely process will be done with the help of end users itself. Next thing is a paper tape. Here, paper tape deals with older computer systems. This is not using earlier in this time. So this is not that much important here. So we can say data symbols clarifies the data of our flow and in what format data is stored, or we can say in what manner we can data will be accessed. So these are the data symbols here. Next thing is input and output symbols. There are so many ways to put the input in a system, or there are so many ways to get output from a system. So we can use it with the help of manually, we can use it with the help of computers, we can use it with the help of implementing that particular portion. So there are random way as well as manual way. Whatever they are using, it will be represented in a different format. So if the data will be stored or input act as a manual part, then first symbol is representing here the three lines with a diagonal inverted line on the fourth side. Next is a manual operation. When the operation is already also done manually, that means there is no processor in a system to deal with particular input. We have to implement our process by manually. Then we have a symbol of manual operation as well. Next thing is input output, that I already discussed, that if there is any process that act as an output for the another input process, then the symbol is representing in a square, but that was inverted one. To displaying the information to the user that will be processed by the system is also represented with display symbol. So these are the some symbols that are representing whether the input is given, whether the output is given, whether displaying the data or not, and operation will be done manually or the computerized. So these are the previous symbols. Next thing is merging and connecting the symbols. Once the processes will be done, we have to combine all these processes and get output at a single time. So that will be done with the help of merging a symbol. Let us suppose there are two separate processes and we have to deal with particular one and act as a single process. That means there are two processes, we can say P1 and P2, but we want to access P3. Now P3 get input from P1 and P2 both. So the input will be act as P1 and P2 and the output from the P3 is single one. We can say 2 to 1. जैसे for example many to 1 का scenario लेकर चले तो in the case of many we have two input, in the case of one we have one output. So two input and one output will be act as a triangular format. Here merging is showing. That means two processes getting the result in the single process. That is P1 and P2 deals. So that processing will be done and the P3 gets as an output. Next is off-page connector. In off-page connector, we have to focus that how to connect with the particular page, that single one. That means page within the information we are already provided. Next is a connector used to show flow across multiple charts or a pages. That means data is available on different pages. Then we can also connect these one will be done with the help of on page connector or we can say connector. So these are some symbols basically used for the representation of the flow chart. These are the advanced one, but the basic one is already mentioned in the tabular format here. There are some guidelines as well to develop a flowchart. So what are these guidelines? Firstly, flowchart can have only one start and one ending point. That means starting will be done at one end and ending will be done at single end. So we can say the starting and ending point is only one. Next is on-page connector is referenced using a number because once I am linking with different pages, we need to connect with them with the help of numbering. For example, page number 1, page number 2 will be represented in this manner. The off-page connector are referenced with the help of alphabets. For example, I am at particular page single one with the A point I am discussing here and B point is below the A point. So I'll mentioning if I want to discuss B in the A, then we will say that the next point I am covering that is B will be this one. So I am referring the particular page with the help of alphabet in off-page connector, but with the help of on-page connector, we are dealing with the numbers. That means one or two will be done. Generally, flow of processes is top to bottom or left to right. This is not possible to move from intermediate to upward or intermediate to downward or as well downward to upward because the movement of the water flowing is top to down approach. So the basic approach in a structured analysis is always be the top to down approach. It's not possible to move from right to left or bottom to top. It must be top to bottom or left to right. One more thing we have to cover is this is that arrow should not cross each other because once arrow will be mentioning and crossing each other, then it means the data will flowing but in redundancy manner. So it is not possible to move data in a multiple part and inconsistent manner. So data will flow at single point, not at multiple points. It should not cross each other. This is all about flowchart. Now there are some examples of a flowchart I'm covering here. With the help of that, it must be clear to you. Well, first thing here is starting point. Once the starting point is done, we have to use arrow here and arrow showing get dressed. It means let us suppose one person is going outside, then he get up and get dressed. First process he will done is get process. Now the condition will be applicable here. Do you have money in a wallet? uh, is There are only two options available, that is yes or a no. If yes, what condition will be applicable, and if no, what condition will be applicable. So in yes scenario, if he has a money in his wallet, he can go for a shop, right? But if he don't have money in a wallet, then he have to put money in a wallet.
So in no scenario, put money in the wallet, and in yes scenario, go to the show. Once the whole process will be discussed, next step is moving. That means first is here showing to the next page, that the next further whatever you want you can do. So this is the basic scenario, how we can representing a starting point, how the process will be done, how we will mentioning the condition applicable. I hope this is clear. Let's take one more example over here, that after one, here I am thinking, is brand A pen available? Once he will go for a shop, that means first process will be done. So is brand A pen available? If it is yes, then he want to take must be that particular pen, and if it is no, then pen is not available. So here we have to check whether the pen is available or a no. So if yes scenario, take the pen, and if no scenario, then how many is any other pen available? If any other pen is not available, then he will not put that particular pen. But if he have these pens, then he will pay and take these pen. So take this pen and then make payment, and the process will be done. And if no scenario, then he will not put the pen and the process will be done. So in both the scenarios, process will be done, but in yes scenario, the process will be done after doing in the task that was done. And if no scenario, then the no task will be performed. It's terminate without doing any work. So these are the some basic example of the flowchart over here. Now there are some benefits of the full flowchart. What are these one? It helps to clarify the complex process. Firstly, to create a simple one, we use graphical method with the help of these modules. So it helps in clarifying the complex processes. Next thing is it identifies steps that do not add values to the internal or external customer. That means including delay, needless storage, transportation, unnecessary information will be not included over here, because the whole process is done manually. So the main process will be done with the help of processor, and that does not contain any external resources that create loopholes or a breakdown in a communication, we can say. So it helps team members gain in a shared understanding of a process and use this knowledge to collect data, identifying the problem, and focus discussion over resources identification. Because the whole process is done in a graphical manner, so the users or a clients or a team members, we can say, get better understanding about the process, what actually be performing, and what are the pros and cons once the process will be done or not completed. In both the scenarios, the clear picture will be in front of the client. So whether he want to take a risk or not is completely depend on them. So that is client call, we can say. It serves as a basics of a designing issue. So there are some basics of a designing, whatever they want to create that particular design, they have used with the help of flowchart. And there are so many multiple symbols that I already discussed with you. I hope this is clear to all of you. There are some key points over the flowchart are what are the symbols, what are the advanced symbols as well, how we can store multiple documents in a single picture, can we communicate from one page to another page? If it is possible, then what is the tool we will use? That is the online connector, or within one page we want to connect, then with done with the help of offline connectors. So these are some advanced tools as well. We have to know about these one. What are the benefits? How the flowchart will be moving from one condition to another? The process will be valid or not? And if it is valid, then what the conditions? So this is the clear picture of a flowchart. Thank you.